Well, hello. Here I am again on my channel examining yes and no answers to important questions, current questions, questions that people are addressing today as we speak. Well, today's question is one of those. It is, should I become a vegan? It's certainly a very current subject, particularly because the growth not only of vegetarianism but veganism itself has been explosive just in the last few years. So a lot of people are considering these issues, so therefore I think it's a good time to be reviewing the arguments on both sides. Well, on the positive side, the obvious first reason for adopting veganism is the ethical one. A lot of people just can't abide by the idea of killing animals or treating them in a very oppressive sort of way, simply to provide food for us. There are people who demonstrate vigorously against the transportation of live animals for the process. There are others who are appalled at practices and images from abattoirs. So there's a general lack of any kind of sympathy with people in the business of killing animals for food. A second and almost as powerful an argument, more so in the minds of some, is the notion of health benefits. Most people will acknowledge that a vegan diet suitably buttressed with, say, vitamin B12 and calcium to make up for a couple of kind of gaps in the vegan menu, are much more healthy. The mere elimination of animal fat from one's diet has got to be a healthy thing. Reducing, for example, its role in the explosion of the incidence of bowel cancer, which is almost always directly related to animal fat. A third reason for staying with it is that the food trade is increasingly adapting itself to veganism. The supermarkets, restaurants, and so forth are realizing that this is probably, for many, an idea whose time has come, and so they're catering for it. So the options aren't bad. And fourth, thanks to some chefs, like one of our favorites is Yotam Ottolenghi. He's the Palestinian-Israeli chef who has championed this kind of food. It's delicious. He understands seasoning from a Middle Eastern standpoint, and thus one does not have to resign oneself to tasteless food to become a vegan. The possibilities are there, and you can have really a nice meal. Okay, well, there are some negative answers as well to my question. People who simply do not want to be a vegan. I suppose the biggest reason of all is that for many people they simply couldn't do without some of the foods that they would be required to cut out. Most notably among these are cheese and eggs. And for many, the substitutes that are offered sound pretty awful and off-putting, and therefore don't really provide the comfort to the individual cutting out those foods that he or she loves. So there is that. Another reason for not wanting to become a vegan is that you don't want to become kind of the local pariah in your social set. You don't want to be the the person or the couple who is invited to the dinner party and then insists that well, I can have this, I can't have this, I can't have that. You're afraid of becoming a kind of a pariah and the butt of jokes even about your limited gastronomic repertoire. So that's a bit of a problem as well. Number 3, many people I know say, well, the vegan options in my favorite restaurants are really pretty limited. Now, of course, that might be a self-fulfilling prophecy in the sense that my favorite restaurant might be a steak joint. So, but nonetheless, if there isn't something appealing available to you where you like to go for your occasional night out, then that could be a problem as well. And finally, another kind of emotive reason is that for some people, advocates of veganism are zealots. They're obnoxious. They are always trying to take a self-righteous stance and indicate their superiority to you. Well, that's really pretty unappealing, and for that reason alone, many people would be disinclined to adopt veganism. Well, what about my take? This is a much tougher one for me and for my wife than many of them. I think we both feel quite conflicted about this. We're very sympathetic to a lot of the positive reasons for adopting veganism, especially those surrounding the ill treatment of animals and the health effects. We are, of course, also mindful of the fact that it's a good way to lose weight. Everybody I know, including us, is always struggling to avoid putting on the extra pounds, and so veganism is probably a pretty good way to do that as well. On the other hand, I don't think we're quite prepared to give up everything that we would have to give up. So it's a question of degree, but I think so far as we're concerned, we're moving in that direction. We can see the arguments. We're not quite prepared yet to go all the way, but quite a bit of the way. So that's where we are. Well, I hope this has been helpful and interesting for you, and if so, give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and even hit the notification bell. Okay, well, thanks a lot. See you at the next video. Bye.